welcome to Talking Politics on your digital first Pan-African news network, Cheers Television. I'm Musa Zeh, it's celebrating you live from our studios here in the nation's capital city, Abuja, Nigeria. The rising spate of insecurity that has bedeviled the nation seems to be unsurmountable, from school abductions to kidnapping, banditry, and all the challenges we face in the nation. There seems to be a word of hope coming from the nation's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The Vice President is asking Nigerians to stay strong and be confident in surmounting the nation's problems and adversaries. Professor Yemi Osinbajo was a guest at the one-year anniversary of the Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodinma, as governor in office.
Let me say that despite the challenges that our nation faces, by the grace of God, we, the Nigerian people, are more than able to surmount these challenges. In Numbers 13 in the Bible, we are told of the story of the spies that Moses sent to go and spy out the promised land, which was then occupied by giants and enemies. The majority of the spies said, when they came back to report to Moses, they said, we cannot take over the land. This land that God has promised us is too difficult to take over. It's a land that swallows up its inhabitants. And there are man-killing giants everywhere. But Joshua and Caleb had a different spirit. They said, these giants are just bread for us. Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are well able to overcome them. So I say to you, the people of Imo State and the great people of Nigeria, yes, we have work to do. Yes, we have much to repair, but we are undaunted. The problems that we see today are the stepping stones to our great future. We are, by the grace of God, mightier than our challenges.
That was Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo admonishing Nigerians. Before we get into today's conversation, let's take a look at some top political stories.
Senators on Wednesday were locked in a heated debate over a bill seeking to establish Armed Forces Service Commission. Leading the debate, sponsor of the bill, Senator Einoya Abaribe, said the commission would ensure that the composition and appointment of the service chiefs of the armed forces reflect federal character in a manner prescribed in Section 213, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution. Lawmakers who backed the bill argued that the bill stands on a very strong constitutional ground and also invited the Senate to exercise its constitutional right. Others who opposed it said the establishment of the composition would politicize the armed forces, which they argued was dangerous for the peace and unity of the country. After the debate, the bill was put to a voice vote by Senate President Ahmad Lawan. Quickly, Abaribe stood up and cited Order 73, which says that any senator can challenge the ruling of the presiding officer. He therefore called for voting on the bill. But Lawan interjected and said the ruling was not his personal opinion. But Abaribe insisted that it is his right to call for voting on the bill. After this point, Senator James Manager, PDP Delta, advised the Senate President to allow voting to take place. After about 7 minutes in limbo, the Senate went into a closed-door session. When the Senate reconvened, Lawan asked Abaribe to withdraw the bill.
Abaribe, and I want to make a compound motion, two motions. First, Mr. President, in order to preserve the dignity of these hallowed chambers, I wish to withdraw my Order 73. Secondly, and for us to be able to do further consultations on the bill that I have proposed, I wish also to step down the consideration of this bill until a more appropriate time. I so submit, Mr. President.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has said it will soon be engaging the leadership of the National Assembly over the division, revision and alteration of electoral constituencies in the country. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said this on Tuesday in Abuja during a consultative meeting with organized labor unions and professional associations on the proposed expansion of voter access to polling units, PUS. He also assured that the Commission will continue to work with the National Assembly to ensure the speedy passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill.
In addition, we are also preparing to engage with the leadership of the National Assembly on the issue of division, revision, and alteration of electoral constituencies in Nigeria. The Commission's discussion paper on the matter is being finalized. Let me once again assure Nigerians that we are pursuing the expansion of voter access to polling units and reform of the electoral legal framework through the passage of the Electoral Amendment Bill vigorously. At the same time, the Commission is also working hard on the resumption of voters' registration. This will enable citizens that have not registered before, or those that may wish to transfer their registration to other areas while they wish to vote on election day, to do so.
Responding on behalf of the participants, the Executive Secretary, Nigeria Elections Debate Group, NEDG, Eddie Emisiri, urged INEC to ensure that PUS are moved out of traditional rulers and other individuals' homes.
But at the end of the day, election results were brought out from those places. But the problem there is simply that if those results were accepted by the people who were in charge there, there's something wrong with it. But we cannot say it because it's just a minute number compared to what we have in the whole area, because it's only in the houses of those traditional rulers. There are other primary schools and all that provided better results. So if you're doing this, I would advise that you remove polling units from homes of traditional rulers or religious leaders or some of these important dignitaries in communities, because those are the areas that cause problems and give you a bad name.
National Chairman of the African Action Congress, AAC, Leonard Nzenwa, has said the party would resist any attempt by its former national chairman and 2019 presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, to destabilize the party. Sowore was expelled from the party in August 2019 over allegations of anti-party activities and insubordination. He was expelled alongside 28 others at the ACC's National Convention held in Owerri, the Imo State capital. But he stormed INEC headquarters in Abuja last Saturday with a large crowd of supporters, where he told journalists that he would not allow INEC to collude with a group to stop him from being the party helmsman. Addressing a press conference on Monday in Abuja, Wednesday said Sowore's action was a threat to national security and an attempt to discredit the party and scuttle its chances of winning future elections. The party warned that Sowore, who is leader of the #RevolutionNow, should not use the party's name to protest in whatever form, saying he had already been expelled.
All right, welcome back. It's still talking politics here on the Digital First Pan-African News Network. And speaking with us today, we have via Zoom, we have Barrister Evans Ufeli. Barrister, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get straight into the conversation. What's your reaction as regarding the security situation in our country today? There's been several calls for the president to declare a state of emergency as regards national security. First, let's take a reaction. What's your reaction?
Well, the security situation in Nigeria has assumed a very dangerous dimension, much so because Nigeria has operated in a way that it has neglected her citizens. The level of unemployment has risen astronomically. I mean, the Bureau of Statistics just released some figures, and it's worrisome, where you have deep unemployment, where you have poverty anywhere in the world, where you have unemployment, you have poverty, you have no healthcare system, you have people being displaced, between this economic, socio-cultural conflict that has assumed a very, very deep dimension. And what we need to do, or what the country will need to do at this point, is to declare a state of emergency on security issues. First, to begin to retrace the step, government must provide employment. Government must engage the youth, okay? Because the energy you see, must be channeled towards something. And when there is no employment, when there are no jobs, when there are no means of livelihood, the tendency is that those who are not very empowered intellectually will take arms against the society. And that's exactly what is happening today. We have banditry, you have insurgency, you have hooliganism, and you have a lot of crimes that never existed 10 years ago. These offenses, kidnapping, and the rest of it never existed. Today you have herdsmen killing and the rest of it. I think that we have gotten to a point where if government does not do something very drastic, we might end up in a very big conflict in the nearest future. Because as it stands now, government interest is practically on how to take more from the citizens. Just yesterday, today, they have there's now charges for USSD. VAT was increased to 7.5%. The level of taxing the society, there's squabble as regards fuel increase or no fuel increase. ASU is threatening to go on strike because the lecturers have not been paid for a long time. And then government is negotiating with bandits and the rest of it. So we are really in a crisis moment. And I think that government should invest more in education, empower the people, provide job, security, and then let the state governors, okay, manage their state effectively. And I think that if we want to put Nigeria in the light of progress, we must look into all these maladies, work on inflation, exchange rate, develop the economy multidimensional, refine our crude locally, okay, so that the cost of living, reduce the cost of governance, so that the society can come together and put up a strong synergy for progress and success. If we don't do all this, I'm sorry, we may come to a point where it will be difficult for us to redeem ourselves from the catastrophe or from the negative content we have left in trying to govern ourselves and in trying to make meaning out of this whole conundrum.
Okay, Barrister, let's take a look at political will in terms of solving the problem of insecurity in the nation. Very recently, the Vice President was seen to say that the national issues we face, like insecurity, is one of those issues that many nations face, and that Nigerians should brace up and be confident to fight all of these challenges. Now, the question is, do we need motivation at this time, or is it that the political leaders are not doing what they ought to do to get this done with? And do you think that they have done enough as well?
It's not motivation that we need at this time. What we need is practical solution. We need government to put up its thinking cap and then make provisions for the citizens. The reason we are stuck is because of long deprivation. Do you know that the average Nigerian cannot feed? The average Nigerian cannot feed. So when you have a country where our citizens cannot feed, the government have much more responsibilities, because that common problem of not being able to feed has a multifaceted disadvantage on the economy, because as you have a large number that are hungry, you have a large number that are going to commit crime to feed, that are going to kidnap, that are going to rob, that are going to take arms against the sea of society and the rest of it.
In terms of moving forward, the president has given the service chiefs 6 weeks to make sure that they do something regarding the security situation in the country. What are your expectations? What do you expect that in the next 6 weeks should happen?
My expectation is that there must be a better plan and a better strategy for curbing insecurity in Nigeria. It's not enough to arm the soldiers to carry guns to go after insurgents, bandits, and kidnappers. The government must also empower the citizens, because when you create employment, a lot of people are engaged. They say that an idle mind is the devil's workshop. A lot of people are idle, so they can be easily recruited into criminality. So if government provide education and make it compulsory, and government provide employment and people are engaged, and government creates an enabling environment and infrastructure where there will be power supply for small and medium scale businesses to thrive, and then we have manufacturing and industrialization. A lot of persons will be engaged. There will be no time for all this kind of crime and the rest of it. So government can now focus. The security agencies can now focus. Most of the people who are arms and all that and robbing are people who just want to survive. So the way to curtail it is to provide jobs for them. The way to curtail it is to provide education for them, for the younger generation, and then make sure that this government define a policy for sustenance, a policy for development, a policy that will increase labor capacity, industrial revolution, that will give us the pedestal for growth. So when government is able to do that, then we will be able to say we have reached a point of clarity and employment. And when we have that, then the economy will grow astronomically. People will be engaged. There will be work, crime will reduce, and then society will strive and go back to its normalcy. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister Ivan Sufeli, for joining us on the show this day. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. It's always good to have you here, share your thoughts. Thank you very much. That's it on Talking Politics on your digital first Pan-African news network. Do well to visit our website www.tstvnetwork.com and watch more episodes of Talking Politics. Follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TOS TV Network. I am Musa Zeh Isesele. Goodbye and thanks for watching.